Welcome to the Motivational Medium podcast. I'm Anne-Marie Lord, a psychic medium, author, and the founder of the Motivational Medium Academy. On this podcast, we'll explore intriguing topics such as mediumship, psychic abilities, and the amazing idea that we all have intuition within us. Whether you're a believer, skeptic, or somewhere in between, get ready to unlock your extraordinary potential as we discover the supernatural world together. If you want your questions featured on the show, be sure to join my tribe by subscribing to my newsletter at annemarielord.com. Let's go. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the podcast. I wanted to talk to you today about them goals. You know, the ones you set at the beginning of the year. How are they going for you? Have you set yourself up for success? Now, you'll have heard me talk about this in the last podcast, setting yourself up for success, or did you set yourself up for failure? So I want to go through this again, but I want to go through it in a more specific way that'll be really helpful for you to weed out the things that are not working for you, and also for you to focus on things that are working for you. So let me explain something to you first. A couple of years ago, as a lot of people may know or may not know, I also used to teach Reiki. Now, Reiki was something that I absolutely loved. I used to love helping people by doing Reiki healing sessions. I also taught Reiki. I taught Reiki mastership to brand new Reiki masters. And as well as doing this, I was also doing my readings, my coaching, writing my book at the time, also teaching people about the Grateful 3 approach, strategies and techniques. And I felt like I had spread myself so thin. So stay with me here, okay? Because I want you to keep in mind the goals that you've set for this year. Have you set yourself up by adding more to your to-do list? So what I did one year, I think it was last year or it might have been the year before, I sat down and I looked at everything that I was doing and I thought to myself, I'm going to have to drop a few diamonds here. Even though I absolutely loved doing the Reiki, and the Reiki was very kind to me and it brought me so many healing, beautiful souls that I invited to do and learn Reiki 1, Reiki 2, and also the mastership teaching Reiki 3. But I could not focus on everything. So what I had to do was I had to sit down and I had to think to myself, okay, what do I want to hone in on? So to me, I stayed with the Grateful 3 stuff and also the mediumship. Now, this took me a whole year to, or maybe even 2 years, to actually get nutted down on what it was that I actually do. Now, when I see people for readings, the Grateful 3 approach, strategies, techniques, all the stuff that I teach, that comes into the readings. So that did need to stay. Also, the readings, the health stuff that I know from being a nurse over the years, I love to do mediumship and I love to do intuitive guidance readings. So they were where I felt really, really passionate. Like, don't get me wrong, I felt passionate about Reiki, but I was spreading myself too thin. So where am I going with this? I want you to think about all the goals that you've set up for this year. Have you set yourself up for even more stuff to be added to your forever growing to-do list? Or have you decided to take some of that stuff away, drop diamonds as I call it, and focus on what you really want to do? So, as I said at the beginning, how are your goals doing? The ones you set for January 2025, the beginning of the year, how are they going? Now, if you feel like you're spreading yourself too thin, or it's not quite working for you, or you're getting overwhelmed because you've added stuff to your forever growing to-do list, I want you to reevaluate. So say you're looking at your career for the year. Say you're looking at your career And then you turn around and you go, okay, well, I want to add this in. I want to add that in. I want to bring this in. I want to add that in. Ask yourself, is it conducive with what you're already doing? Or is it a totally different area? And will I be spreading myself too thin? Because I believe that you guys can achieve anything you want if you follow the right strategies and techniques. If you set yourself up with far too many things coming into your life all at once, then you get overwhelmed, you procrastinate, and procrastination causes guilt. Then you start beating yourself up, and then you just leave everything and it won't work. Okay, so what do I focus on? So this year, obviously, I love doing my mediumship and I love doing my intuitive guidance. I love teaching. And I actually did an event, a live event just before Christmas, which was hugely successful. It sold out within 3 weeks. And I even had people on the waiting list who, if any cancellations, which didn't happen, for the tickets, they could go on. And I've literally got another one on the 15th of February, which is nearly sold out also. Yeah, so just saying, if you want to get some tickets for that as well, jump on the website and hopefully there'll be still some tickets there by the time this podcast goes out. But what I want to say to you is I'm going to focus on live events. I'm going to focus on workshops, mindfulness mediumship workshops. That's what I'm going to do this year. And I'm also going to focus on my readings and my Grateful 3 approach to life, the course that I've got. So if I focus on them 4 things, people might think that they're not very big or, I've already written the course. So the course is already on there on my website. So that's there. The events, they're already in place. The mediumship and intuitive guidance, that's already in place. And the workshop is something new. But the stuff that's already in place, I can grow on that. If the workshops or the live events become bigger and more people want to go, then I'll reevaluate that and I'll grow on that as well. Maybe I'll have to do more events or maybe I'll have to do a venue that's bigger, So it's about the things that you've already got going for you or you've got working for you. Don't change them and don't try and reinvent the wheel. Grow them things. If you've got stuff that is working for you and you want to bring something else in, then that's okay, as long as you've got the time and you're not adding to your forever growing to-do list. Make sure you've got the resources, make sure you've got the time, and make sure you've got the energy, because there's nothing worse than putting something out there and there's no energy behind it. And this could be about your health, it could be about your career, it could be about relationships, your finances. If you want to grow something, then look at what you've already got and grow on that. And if there's things there that you feel are not serving you a purpose or it's making you spread too thin, like the Reiki was with me, it was serving me a purpose, but it was making me spread myself too thin. And because teaching Reiki and intuitive guidance and the workshops and the live events, these are personal to me. I can't get anyone else to do this for me. So I have to do this myself. So what I did was I had to reevaluate, and I call it dropping a diamond. So sometimes you have to drop a diamond, see where you want your energy to go to. And when you want your energy to go to that place, that's what will make it grow. I hope this makes sense. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say to you is, don't add stuff or look at your goals that you've added for the beginning of the year. And if it's adding things to your forever growing to-do list, then we're going to have to reevaluate that. Otherwise, the energy is going to become weak because there's only so much willpower that we can muster up before we decide it's too big, it's too overwhelming, and I need to step back from this. And unfortunately, when you've got too many doors open, you don't just step back from one door, your energy steps back from all of them. So close a door. This might be something like it was with me, the Reiki. I loved it and I was quite successful with it. But I knew that I wanted to close that door to focus and hone in on things that was already going really good for me, like the Grateful 3 approach, the teachings around that and the book and the podcast, they're all going really well. And also the intuitive guidance readings, the mediumship readings, which I absolutely love, and then bring in the intuitive guidance workshops, live events. This is all where I focus. And what happens with all that is you can repurpose stuff. So you create it once and you can repurpose it instead of going over and over and bringing new stuff in. I hope this is making sense. So as you know, I'm trying to say to you, don't build them goals too big that they overwhelm you. Look at what you've already achieved and pick one thing out of each one, something out of finances, something out of career, something out of health, something out of relationships, something out of business that you want to grow on, something that's already there. If you're doing online courses and it's doing absolutely amazing, grow in that area. If you have got a shop and instead of having 15 different shops, grow in that one shop, add stuff into that shop, maybe do an online delivery from that shop. You don't have to build it till it becomes too overwhelming. So look at your goals. Have you set yourself up for success? And maybe you need to look at dropping a diamond. And if you drop that diamond, that can open up for more success in the areas that are already successful for you and that you would like to grow on more. I hope this has helped you. Keep going. This year, fabulous. Yeah, last year, a lot of us had some ups and downs and things that we were going through. As a lot of you know, I was quite sick in the beginning of 2024, and I had to draw on a lot of my strategies and techniques from the Grateful 3 approach, which I say absolutely works, and that's what got me out of that illness. The mindset that I have today to make myself well, to go and get the help that I needed if I needed any, and that's what happens. Just sitting there and in your mind saying, I'm going to be well, I'm going to be well, I'm going to be well. That's great. Go for that. However, when you're doing strategies and techniques that let your mindset become a certain way of mindfulness, that you see things around you more clearer. And that's what it's about. When you start seeing things around you more clearer, that's when you can either go and get the help you need, you can tune into your own body and know exactly what's going on so that you can stand your ground and you can get the help and get well again. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So the Grateful 3 approach is huge for me. I love that. I have an online course that I teach. With this online course, absolutely everything that I've taught all my coaching clients, I've taught in workshops, I talk about in my daily readings, absolutely everything I've got it in this online course. And at the moment, it's reduced. I had it reduced for January and I'm going to keep it open for February as well. It was at 75% reduction on this course at the moment. So it's $197, I think. And it's forever. You can have this course with you forever. So you can go and work on it at your own pace. And you can also come back to it. And if there's something that you really like, some strategies and techniques in there that you really like, you can go back to them and back to them and back to them. I know this stuff works because the first person I worked with on this stuff was me. And I got the results that I've got today. And it got me through probably 2024 was one of the most challenging years for a long time. And it got me through that. I was still able to eventually go back to work. I was still able to, function, get me health back. And it was all because of every single thing that I teach within this course. And it's online and it's on my website. And it's available to you now with 75% discount. So yeah, if you wanted that, there's a code also there on the website. I can't remember the code. So there's a code there, but everything will be in the show notes. So wherever you listen to your podcast, have a little look at the show notes. The code will be in there as well. So my friends, I want you to succeed in 2025, and I will do my best to give you the guidance and the knowledge and the strategies and the techniques to absolutely succeed. Have the best week, have the best day. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss an episode, and also share it with your friends. You know, there might be something in one of these episodes that you enjoy and you think someone else might get some benefit from it too. Have the best day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this show. It's important to note that while I'm here to inspire, encourage and guide you, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist or a doctor. Join me again in 2 weeks for more captivating revelations on the supernatural. Remember to be in with a chance to have your questions answered on the podcast. Subscribe to my newsletter at amarylord.com. Stay in the tribe to vibe. I appreciate you guys. See you next time.